Hi everyone, my name's Mark. I'm uploading these videos. I'm going to be uploading a series of videos, starting a video blog of sorts, just talking about various things, talking about, talking about the church, talking about different doctrines, talking about a lot of things, even prophecy, Islam, Israel, etc., etc. The main purpose of these blogs is to communicate with other Christians. So if you're a non-Christian, if you're a non-believer, I invite you to listen, but it's not primarily geared towards you. Perhaps later on I will be doing stuff that is geared towards you. But one of the most important things that I want to talk about, and that I really feel is important to talk about, is Jesus Christ. Later on, I'm going to do a video on theology, and I'm going to be talking about theology perhaps in some ways that you haven't heard of before. But I really, right from the start, I want you to know where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is a place of understanding. As someone who, I've been a Christian now for over 25 years. I've been to churches across a broad spectrum of denominational views, from Church of Christ to Pentecostal, even at times Baptist, Anglican, various types of churches, and not because I was church hopping, but simply because I did move around a lot, and that unfortunately I needed to go to different places. In some cases I needed to go kind of wherever I could go, if you know what I mean. And where I'm coming from is that because I've been so long, as we all have been so long within an institutional church structure, some of us, well, most of us have kind of grown up in that arena, and because of that we have, predisposed to our ways of living in Christianity, or living the Christian life. And unfortunately, what has happened, not just in contemporary times, but I'm talking also historically within the church, there has been a trend to move away from the centrality of Christ, the centrality of Jesus, that's clearly spoken about in scriptures, which I will be going over later in a later video. So there's been a move away from that, more towards we've got our theology here in all their little boxes, soteriology, anthropology, theology proper, and we've got Christ in his own little box called Christology. And we don't just do that in our theology, but we also do that in our practical Christianity. Some of you might disagree, but just bear with me over the next videos, that you just hear me out and listen to what I have to say. You may not agree with everything that I say, and that's fine. In a lot of things that I talk about, there may be areas there will probably be areas where I'm wrong. No one man has the complete counsel of God. The complete counsel of God was delivered to the apostles. Jude talks about the faith that was once for all delivered to the saints. So the faith has already been delivered to the saints, and we're all on this journey to discover more and more the complete picture, building this picture of our faith. So my desire is really to share about my journey in faith, so that you know, or I can perhaps, as Paul said, so that we can mutually encourage one another. And for that reason, I will be having comments enabled. Please, if it's part of the discussion and it adds to the discussion, even if you're critical of a view, that's okay. It's the way you express your criticism that I will be weighing up in terms of, I'm not going to have people coming on leaving comments that are derogatory or, and really that doesn't add anything to the discussion. I mean, calling someone names or using foul language and then, you're wrong, and then just using foul language doesn't achieve anything. If you think that I'm wrong, or if you think that other people who leave comments is wrong, then I would ask you to engage properly in the discussion and give valid reasons as to why you think either myself or other people who may leave comments are wrong. All right? Because discussions about where you simply poke fun at other people or you leave a bad taste in people's mouths because of the way that you come across is, in a way, it's intellectually dishonest. It means that you don't want to have a discussion. You just want to throw up smoke screens, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm saying that to you in love. I want to be able to engage with people and to have people engage with me. So I will leave comments enabled. I would also appreciate, and this is the only video that I'm going to ask for this, obviously subscribing and liking raises your profile in YouTube, and I don't want to raise my profile because I want everyone to listen to me. I just want to raise my profile simply because I want to be able to reach other people and more people. So this is the only video where I'm going to ask if you like what's said on here. If you like the whole thing, then I would ask you to subscribe or to like. And that's the first and last time I'm going to ask for subs and for likes. We're all, like I said, we're all on a journey. If we are Christians, then we want to get to the heart of the matter, and which is the truth. Jesus said, I am the truth. He didn't say I'm a truth. He didn't kind of say I'm just truth in some ethereal, mystical sense, subjective sense. He said, I'm the truth. And, that's a pretty out there kind of statement. But when we consider of who Christ really is and the fullness and the depth of who he is, which we will never fully know until we reach, until we cast off our mortal coil and we go to be with the Lord, then we will know him. When we see him, then we shall be as he is. We shall see him and we will be as he is, because we'll see him, the reality of him, the fullness of him. The Apostle Paul said we all see through a glass darkly. I see through a glass darkly, you see through a glass darkly. Does that mean that we can't know truth? No, that's not what the Apostle Paul was saying. But we grow in our depth and our understanding of truth. And because Jesus is the truth, we grow in our depth and our understanding of who he is. I've always likened that to a picture. I can see a picture and I can see the beauty of the picture. I can look at it and stare at it and see it. And then I'll go away. But then I'll come back to that picture and I'll be looking at it again, and all of a sudden I see something new that I never saw before. It hasn't changed the overall schemata of the picture, but what it's done is it's added in a richer fullness of that picture. And then I'll go away again, and then I'll come back and the same thing. And each time I look at it, there's new little nuances and new little things that add to the depth and the richness of that picture. And in that way, in my puny, insignificant way of understanding, that's how I understand revelation of Jesus Christ, is that we have kind of an overall kind of fuzzy outline. You know, especially when we first become Christians, we have this fuzzy outline of this Christ that we worship. And then over time it grows and it builds, and we see something else, and we see something else, and we see something new, and the picture slowly starts to get filled in. Will it be filled in completely while we're here on earth? It will not. And in talking about that, you know, in talking about Jesus and the truth, there are other things that pertain, that are in that mix. You know, for example, prophecy. Prophecy is God confirming to us that he is, he said it himself, I am the one who declares things from ancient, those things which are not yet, you know. He uses prophecy in order to declare that he is God. And I want to say something quickly about prophecy before I end this. Prophecy is important. And the reason I say prophecy is important is there's a whole raft of reasons. But the one reason I'll discuss right now is that Jesus basically gave prophetic utterances about what was coming at the end. And he said, do not be deceived. The very first thing he said is, do not be deceived. And then he gave his prophetic utterances. You know, Jesus actually wants us to know. And in fact, you know, where it's talking about in the Olivet Discourse, it's talking about the abomination of desolations. It says, let the reader understand. Right? Now, whether that was said by Jesus or one of the actual apostles, it's still a valid fact. We are commanded to understand what's going on, okay, even in prophecy. So, and in fact, prophecy is so important to God that he gave an entire book called Revelations, which is filled with prophecy. A prophecy is not to try and work out what day and what hour things are going to happen, but prophecy is like signposts along the way. They point to things that are coming so that we can know. We can know, yes, we're closer, we're closer, we're closer. You know, people say, well, we've been closer for 2,000 years. Actually, no, we haven't. Yes, the day draweth near. Even 2,000 years ago, 1,500 years ago was closer. 1,000 years ago was closer. 500 years ago was closer. But there are things that are happening on the earth today which are accelerating the pace at which prophecy is being fulfilled. And in fact, the scripture talks more about what's going to happen in these last days than it actually did about anything else. So, and I challenge you to look into that and test whether or not what I'm saying is true. So, welcome to this channel. I hope you are blessed in what I have to share. I want to share because I want to have a dialogue with you guys, and I just really want to share from where I've been and from my understanding of God, so that, you know, take from what is useful, from what is not, discard, test everything that I say, test it, test it, test it, test it. And if you come to find that what I'm saying is the truth, then please accept it. If you disagree and you think that I've missed the mark, then please let me know, so that we can have a discussion, not an argument, a discussion. I'm more than happy to have a discussion. I will not have an argument, all right, because that produces nothing. The wrath of man doth not work God's righteousness. So, all right, thank you. Be blessed, and I will see you soon in another video. Thank you.